All right. Thank you for joining. This is a crazy one this week. I woke up to headlines this morning, as probably you did as well, from the Surgeon General saying that the coronavirus is going to peak this week. There's going to be some craziness, and that this week is going to be like our Pearl Harbor moment of all of this. And I have to be honest with you, as much as I keep composed, I hear this and I get a little scared. I get this feeling, right, that something really rough and bad is coming this week. But I'm not letting the fear completely get to me. I am not letting the fear control my life. I'm going to tell you how I'm doing that and how you can do it too. So thank you for joining. I am Owen. I really appreciate you stopping by today. If I would love for you to subscribe, please, if you can, on YouTube. And also, my fellow abundance hackers, they're all waiting for you. If you haven't joined our group just yet, please do so. I will put this link here in the chat, and we'd love to have you there. So, what I do about fear in situations like this is something that I actually learned from taking when I was a kid. We had cats in our family, and we would take them to the vet and watching them freak out in the car. And I sort of watched this and see that this is where we are right now. So we would take our cats. We had two cats, Venus and Valentino. My sister's cat was Venus, and mine was named Valentino. And we would put them in the car to take them to the vet from time to time when they needed attention. And cats, at least our cats, I'm sure most cats don't like being in the car. We would put them in the car. We would drive not a very long distance at all to the vet, and they would just lose their absolute minds. They would be freaking out left and right, howling, clawing at the seats. And no matter how much I held Valentino and my sister held Venus, like, they would go crazy. And it didn't matter how well they knew either of us. They would just go nuts in this car going to the vet. They didn't know what was going on. It was a really unfamiliar territory for them. And it was just a really uncomfortable experience for them. And I just remember thinking as a kid so many times, like, if only I could communicate to you, cat, that you're not going to get hurt. This is a really scary thing that's happening, but it's not to hurt you. And ultimately, it's going to make you better. It's going to help you feel better. You're going to get what you need at the vet, and you're going to be okay. If only I could communicate to these cats freaking out in the car on the way to the vet that you're going to be okay. So think about that, right? I think about when I am that cat in the back seat, freaking out, when I am in a situation that is completely foreign to me, that seems like everything is falling apart around me, but ultimately it's for my own benefit, or I'm going to learn something, or I'm going to grow out of it. I mean, obviously, anything that has ever happened to me has only been for my betterment and my growth, because I'm still here, right? What does not kill me makes me stronger. This is a funny example sort of the cats, but Another time that this really popped up for me was right around the time when my mother passed away. She had ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. She had it she was 7 months from the time she was diagnosed until the time she passed away. And our family had lots of big plans. We had lots of ideas about what we were going to do, how we were going to live our lives, and sort of the paths that we were all on. And just in an instant, all of that went away. All of that changed the minute that we knew that that my mom was terminally ill with ALS. And again, this was a time when, our family would come together and we would talk and we would support each other, but still, even on just an individual level, right? Each of us had to deal with this. And I, many, many times, had to, pull myself back and tell myself, okay, everything is going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. Like, it's not going to look the way we wanted it to, but you'll be okay. And and she did pass away, and that is incredibly sad, and certainly that was not what we wanted. But what has happened, because since then, is new people have come into our family. Our family has grown. I have excellent stepmoms, stepbrothers, now their families as well. So there's a lot that can be taken out of any awful situation. You can see the good things in it, of what's coming out the other side of it. There is a lot of philosophy around, the cycle of death and rebirth. And it's very true that forests even, right? Especially like pine cones, trees with pine cones, they have to burn in order for them to renew, in order for them to grow back again. That's how the seeds are released, right? So fire, death, being in a car, going to the vet, sickness, the coronavirus, all of these things, they're hard. They're like very, very hard, unsettling things. But they're here. They're all really, really frightening things. But I always like to take a minute back and say, okay, what am I going to learn out of this? What am I growing out of? How am I growing out of this? So there are really only two things that any of us can ever control. And the coronavirus is not one of them, right? The coronavirus, the virus, COVID-19, is going to do its own thing. And it is on its own plan, and it has been since the beginning. We can't control it. We cannot control it, and we know that. And anyone who says they are is just not telling the truth. There are two things that we can control. We can control our actions. We can control how we act. Every single action you make is a choice, right? From something as simple as just getting out of bed in the morning to getting married, buying a house, starting a business. You can control how you act and how all of us act. And a lot of the times we think that we can't because we're sort of been conditioned into a lot of regular responses. And it's easy too when we've got the news media, especially a lot of the news media today, the 24-hour news network specifically, really just funneling all of this chaos and stress and anger and fear into our heads if we let it. And so it's hard. It gets easy to condition our responses, and then our actions we just think are not our own. But we do have control over our actions all the time. That absolutely we can control on every level. Okay. The other thing that we can control, and this one's trickier, is what we think. Right? At every moment, you have a choice. I have a choice. We all have a choice to see the same exact moment in a completely different way. We can see it exactly however we want, right? Like right now, I am sitting here talking to you, and I'm seeing this as something fun that I really enjoy and that I'm having a great time doing, right? But there are other possibilities. I could be looking at this right now as a chore, as a task, or as something that I'm really forcing myself to do, right? The same thing is happening. I'm still here talking to you, but the difference might be in the first scenario is that I'm having a great time doing it, and in the second scenario, I'm not, right? So it's the same thing. It's the same thing with the coronavirus, the panic that's going to happen this week. Awful, awful things are already happening. And even worse things are likely to happen in the next 7 days. That's what all the experts are saying. And maybe even longer. This is the truth, right? We can't control that. We can't control that. We can control our own actions. We can control how we social distance. We can control how we speak to others. And we can control how we think. We can look at this as a time of change, as a time of growth, or as a time of complete fear, chaos, and panic. That's a choice. That's a choice. And I don't like to choose to feel bad, although God knows I do from time to time, right? And I'm sure that maybe you do as well. Choose to feel bad, even if you don't think that you're choosing to do it, right? Fear is like a vampire. It can't come in until you invite it. You have to invite fear in order to have it. So you have to choose it on some level. You have to choose fear. Now, I want to be clear here. Afraid is very different, right? To be afraid, like I get it. This is a scary time. To be afraid at the moment is fine. But fear is it's the scarcity mindset. It's part of the scarcity mindset. It is that voice in your head that tells you that things are not going to be okay. That tells you that everything is going to run out. That's going to tell you that there is not enough, and that we are all trending toward a zero line, which is not true. Nature shows this over and over and over again on the smallest microscopic level, all the way up to events in the universe, in the galaxy, out in space. Fear is a choice. So it's okay to not be certain about what's about to happen. It's okay to be concerned about what is going to happen. It's okay to be worried for our fellow human beings and others who are getting sick and their lives are turned upside down, and our own, right? And your life and my life. Fear. It's okay. It's okay to be unsettled about this, but it's letting the fear in that causes the problem. If you choose not to let that happen, then it's much better. So I know that this is difficult. This was very difficult for me to get my head around at first, because it really requires understanding that a lot of things that we've been taught were not for our benefit. And especially now, when the whole system, the country, the world is all up in arms and no one knows what's going on next, the best thing that you can do for yourself and for everybody around you, especially the people that you love around you, is to be really clear about how you're choosing to act and how you're choosing to think during this time. And about not choosing fear. And I guarantee you, not only are you going to feel a lot better, but you are going to radiate hope out to the people around you in your life that really, really need it right now. Yeah, so if you want some guidance on getting rid of this fear, getting out of this scarcity mindset, I wrote this ebook about it, How to Unlock and Unleash Your Superpower. It's all about freeing yourself from the scarcity mindset and getting into abundance. You can download it right now. It's free, owenjward.com. Just go there. You can download that. And tell me how you're feeling. I would love to hear how you're doing. A lot of you have been talking with me, and I'm loving our conversations, almost even on a selfish level, because, right, I'm all cooped in here just like you all are, and I'm loving these new connections that I'm feeling. I feel like I'm out of the house so much during the day, but I'm not really. I'm just talking to a lot of people, and I love talking to you. So thank you for your honesty. I'm going to keep being honest. I'm going to keep bringing you my vulnerable truth, and I hope that you stay safe, stay healthy, stay free of fear this week. And if you ever feel like it's coming on, just drop me a message, right? Just hit me up here and just be like, oh, and I'm going nuts. Like, that's so great. I'll talk you through it. I'll be happy to do it. So thank you. Stay safe and healthy. I will talk to you tomorrow.